Hi, welcome back. So this video is recorded because I would like to demonstrate how to create a histogram in Excel. Well, there are basically two methods to create a histogram. Assuming we're doing data analysis to the third column C, we would like to know how the price, this variable, and how the data points are scattered using a histogram. The first way is quite straightforward. We select the range. We go to the insert button and we select the tool that says histogram. Histogram looks like a bar chart, but it is not a bar chart. So we go for either the first one or the second one with a cumulative line. Let's just choose the first one, the basic one. And it gives us really nice automatic ranges and the settings. We would like to customize it, of course, and first of all we would like to customize the bin. The bin is what we call groups. Obviously there are some data points that are more close to each other, so we put them in a group. And if we double click on this range area, the x-axis labels, we will see a pop-up panel on the right side, and here we can customize under access options. We can customize the bin. We can go for, say, the number of bins. We can say we want 10 of them, or we want 11 total bins. And we can also customize what is the overflow or the underflow. Overflow means what if we would like to group the things that are over $100. Let me just type $100, assuming that I am interested to know how many orders that are over this amount, and I would like to also customize the under bin. Say I am interested in how many orders are there that is less than $10. Let's just use 10 and 100. So using this settings, I am able to pull up a really nice histogram, and we will see that to the left side I do have the smallest count, that's 4. If I put my mouse over it, I can see the value of the first bin, that's 4, which basically means there were 4 orders. 4 orders has the total order value less than $10. And let me put this on the right side, and I see the bar says 17. So there were 17 orders having more than 100 per order. Okay, that's the total sales for a order. Of course, I would like to customize the chart. I can say this is a histogram of price, and of course I can customize the width. In my case, the width is automatically given at 0%. If in your case it is a larger number, say 20 or even 100, please just change that back to 0. Okay? Because we don't expect any gap between these two categories, right? The second way to create a histogram is to use the analysis ToolPak. For analysis ToolPak to work, we first would like to determine the beams. Using the built-in tool, we can actually play with the numbers, and the chart will just change according to the numbers we entered. But using the analysis ToolPak, we have to determine the number of beams and also the width of the beams as well. And this has to be done ahead of time. So what I usually do is I usually would do a summary of the data. This could be done by using the analysis ToolPak and can be done by descriptive statistics. Assuming I have done the statistics and I have the range. Well, range basically means the differences between minimum and maximum, right? So based on the range, the minimum, maximum, I do think that it is reasonable for me to put 10 those orders that are less than $10 would be my first beam, and I would say it is reasonable to group all orders or expensive orders together, and those orders would ideally have more than $100. And that's easier for me because I can use the width of 10. The 10 means, say, the first block has the highest value of 10, then the width, with the width of 10, I can just add 10 to get 20, and that's my range. The second beam ranges from 10 to 20. Okay? If I have an order, say that is here, case 12, that order is for $11.7, and I would put this case into this bracket, and I can add another $10 to create the next beam from 20 to 30, and the width will not change. So if I decide the width is 10, I will always use 10 as the width. And this is supposedly what I would like to do for the histogram. But this is not enough. This is just what I planned. Excel does not recognize this format. Instead, Excel recognizes only the upper boundary. So in order to give what Excel needs, I would have to put down the upper boundary here from 10 to 100. And the last one would be a blank cell, because Excel knows anything larger than 100, they will be grouped together. Okay? Now that I have this range from 10 to 100, I can go to data analysis ToolPak. Yeah, I can pull out the histogram dialog, and here the input range, well, it is still the price, the column price I am trying to investigate. So let me put the range price. It is always the original data. And of course it contains the labels, right? And the second box I will need to fill is the bin range. Well, it is the upper boundary I just created. So let me put the upper boundary. And I would like to place this on the same data sheet. Let's maybe put it here. And I would like to see a cumulative percentage line. I would like to see a chart. And once I press OK, I will be given a histogram along with a table. The table shows the upper boundary I just set, a frequency calculated from the original column C, the column that's giving me the price, and also a cumulative percentage column. Okay? They should add up to 100. This histogram does not look pretty, but if I have this range, I can try to stretch it a little bit. Sometimes it's just the areas. Not big enough, but once I have it stretched, it will be a really nice histogram. And the only thing I need to customize is here. It does not give me a range, instead it gives me a boundary, right? It's the data point, and I don't really want that. So this is pretty much what I need to change next. Let me double click this horizontal axis label, and let me choose, well, a panel will show on the right end, and I would go to the axis options, right? And I would like to choose labels. Next to it, if it does not show anything, but now it shows this thing for me, I can select data. Currently, the horizontal axis labels use the default range. Well, since I don't like it, I can go to the original beams I created. Don't forget, I will need to include the last one, the one that says more than $100. Okay. And if it does not look pretty enough, I can go back to the axis option, and I will like the labels to be placed. I can try high, I can try low, and I can edit the position, and I can even let me see where this is located. I can even customize the direction. Say, what if I want this to be rotated in the other direction then? So that all the data can be shown properly. And one last thing, remember that we said for histogram, supposedly there will be no gaps in between. So the last step would be, let's decrease the amount of gaps. Again, we are double clicking, or you can do right click and do format. Once you were given the series options, go to the last one and try to minimize the gap width. Now currently it is 150%. change it to 0. So now you will have a histogram with no gaps between the beams. A nicer way to look at the histogram, of course, would be just change the fields. We would like to see patterns, and we will probably like to see a border. Let's say I am customizing the border as well. So you will see a much nicer histogram compared with the default.